So about 5 weeks ago, I purchased a 2022 Kia Niro EV. I drive a lot, so I've already put on like almost exactly 3,500 miles in that time. So my day job, which is not YouTube, does require about a 100-mile round-trip commute, 5 days a week, plus running errands and all that stuff. So I've already put a good amount of time into the car. Luckily, that beeping noise is just telling me that there's somebody in my blind spot, but I was just shifting, not lanes, but it was at a Y intersection, and it, so just indicating I was going to the right, but it was warning me that there's somebody in my blind spot in case I was changing lanes. So I thought I'd give an initial review, just something real quick, and then I'm going to get into a lot more videos, a little bit more detail going forward. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more about the car, subscribe. And my channel's a little eclectic, so you'll get more than you probably bargained for if you subscribe. But why did I choose the Niro EV? A couple things. One is it had the right range that I was looking for. I was looking for a minimum of 250 miles because of my long commute. I want something that was at least twice the range that I needed for my daily commute, because when it gets cold, you lose range. Using the heater, you lose range. Just for any contingencies, having to drive places, I wouldn't feel comfortable with anything less than about at least 200 miles of range, preferably 250. The Niro has 280 during the summertime. It gets gated down in their winter mode to 250 to help preserve the batteries. And so, hit that criteria. The price was reasonable. It was in the 40,000s. This is a premium model and with a bunch of additional features. So MSRP is 47,000. And then on top of that, it was available. The Teslas, which would be like a direct competitor to the Model 3, had slightly less range in the same price range, and it wasn't available till May. Right now it's middle of April. So when I bought this 5 weeks ago, that would have put, like almost 2 months out. My initial impressions is the car's very good. The styling is good. I mean, the Kias have improved in their styling quite a bit over the years. It just looks like a normal car. Nobody would really know that's an electric car, except for, the grille is flat, and, when you plug it in, then they might think that it's a hybrid. It feels like an electric car on the inside with all the switches and buttons, the screen. It's not like the Tesla where it has just one tablet console basically, and everything's based off of that. I'm not really a fan of that. And initially, I didn't really think much of it. Like I was driving an old car, driving a new car. I was like, oh yeah, it just drives like a new car. Just a little quieter, a little smoother. You don't get the engine. You don't feel that at all, and it's quiet when you're parked and all that stuff. It wasn't until I jumped into my F-250 and was driving that around, which I enjoyed driving that to some degree over my Honda Civic, because it was just a newer truck and a newer vehicle, and it drove a little bit better. And then I really noticed the difference. So not so much going from a gas car to the electric car, didn't notice much of a difference, but going from the electric to the truck was felt huge. It felt really laggy. I mean, the truck has 925 foot-pounds of torque. The thing, isn't really a laggy truck, but it's just, you wait till the downshifts. With the electric cars, you really get instantaneous power, and it's hard to describe like how nice that is. Like, you're on the freeway, you're driving, and you need to accelerate real quick. It just does it, very suddenly. There's no downshifting involved. So that's very pleasant, and it's very powerful as far as cars go. It has 200 horsepower, 290 foot-pounds of torque. So I really enjoy that part of it. Significantly more than the Civic, even though it weighs significantly more as well. Some common questions I get, which I'll answer right now, about electric cars in general, like charging. How long does it take? What kind of chargers? So it comes with a level 1, which is a 110 volt. That's a standard plug outlet charger. Using that, it would take, from going to a dead battery to fully charged, would take 60 hours, 60 hours. Nobody drives quite like that, where they bring it absolutely down to 0. But even if you're down to 10 miles, it'd still take you nearly 60 hours to charge up. So you get 3 miles of range for every hour of charging. That's not great. If your commute is less than 30 miles round trip in a day, then you could use that to charge up overnight, within like a 10-hour period. The level 2 charger, you could charge from 0 to 100% in about 10 hours, 11 hours. For me, usually it needs to be plugged in for like 3. So not too bad. You do have to buy that charger separately. I have a link down below if you're interested in. It's a charger that is universal for any car with the same plug. Basically anything except for Tesla would work with. For the chargers itself, all you need is the right plug or outlet. For level 1, again, it's just a standard outlet, but for level 2, you need a 240 volt and then a 50 amp breaker. So that is where most people don't have that readily available. Some people have it in their garage if they were woodworking or the previous owner was a woodworker and had that installed. Otherwise, you'd have to get a line dropped that could cost you $1,000 from an electrician to have that done. And then if you have a panel in the garage or nearby where you want to put the outlet, if you don't, then it could be a bit more expensive, maybe a couple grand to run a line from your panel to wherever you want this outlet located. So on top of that, the cost of a level 2 charger, like I bought on Amazon, was $350. So you could be looking anywhere $1,300 to $2,500 to have a plug and a charger, cable for the car. Probably the one downside with this particular car is that long distance traveling is not really well suited for that, because even at the fast charging DC chargers, my understanding is it'll take approximately an hour to get it charged up. Versus the Tesla, where it can get up to 80% in 10 to 15 minutes. So it's a little bit of a downside. I am planning on taking a long distance trip with this car. It'll be a 5-hour drive. It'll require me to stop at least once and charge up. So if you're interested in seeing that, again, subscribe, and I'll be recording that journey and experience, in a video coming up in the next few months. A couple other things I plan on doing with the car. I'm a car guy. I plan on trying to do some tests in the snow, see if I can do donuts. I want to see if I can autocross it and what that's like. The handling of the car is actually pretty good. It's heavy, but the low center of gravity, you definitely can corner a lot faster than you feel comfortable in a lot of different cars. So I do enjoy the feel of the car. Again, if you want to see any of that, please subscribe. So a couple other ideas in the making for this car as well, some upgrades and some modifications that I'm thinking about doing. Overall, I like the car. A few of the things that I don't like aren't necessarily to this car specifically. It's more probably with Kia, some of their lane keeping software, safety stuff, the radar for the cruise control. There's a few things that I don't like about that. But other than that, actually the car is quite enjoyable, comfortable. It's roomy enough for 2 kids in the back, plus being able to put groceries in. It's a little bit bigger than some of the other cars out there, like the Bolt and the Leaf. So that's an advantage. And it has the hatchback over like a Model 3. It does not have a front trunk. That's a minus, but that's not the end of the world. So if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. You want to see more, have any questions specific about the car, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. If you have any other ideas or for videos for this car that you'd like to see, leave them in the comment section below as well, and I'll see if I can work those in. So thanks, and take care.